Greetings. Hey, this is Jim. YouTube channel, freedomfighterradio.com. My podcast is freedomfighterradio.net. As you see once again, I'm at the entrance of the Islamic Center of Augusta, Georgia. I'm going to talk about free speech in this video, how the people here, this road leads to the entrance, that's the entrance down the road here, run by Iman Dawadi, a Syrian immigrant. Well, a few weeks ago, I got a knock on my door from the sheriff's department. And again, I'm not bitching about the sheriff's department. They informed me that the last time I was here, when I was kicking a Quran around in that ditch right there, doing the video, that I was actually trespassing. And the problem was, if you look, I don't know if you can see it, but if you look down the road to the column and enlarge this, the no trespass sign is over there. However, since the last video, the county surveyors came out, and this wooden stake in the ground with the orange tape is the, what do you call them? Do not cross line, like the demarcation zone, DMZ, like they had in Vietnam, right? Well, I want to talk about free speech. I'm going to show you the shirt that they tried to get me arrested for as well, for disorderly conduct. And before I begin the video, I'm going to give kudos out to Clay Whittle, who is an avid Second Amendment man, or sheriff, a constitutional sheriff, one of the few in this country. I put him up there with Arpaio and Sheriff Clark, you know, from Wisconsin. Well, Clay Whittle has proven once again that he does believe in the Constitution beyond the Second Amendment. Clay Whittle has now proven that he believes in what free speech is all about, unlike sheriffs and maybe some other departments. And I'm going to show you in a second. But before I begin, I want to talk about this Islamic Center, a little background on it. Iman Dawadi is a Syrian immigrant who immigrated to our country years ago. And in 2008, Iman Dawadi received an award for political activism from CARE, Criminals Against Infidel Rights, or you can call it the Council of Angry Islamic Ragheads, or you can call it Council of American Islamic Relations, for political activism. Now, that was the same year of the largest terrorist funding trial in U.S. history. Kind of coincidental, but I'm going to connect some more dots. In that same year, the very spokesman of this mosque, whose name is Ayman Fatal, Ayman Fadel, promoted an article on Muslim Media Matters, a review, forget which one, but you can Google it, promoting the legitimacy of a terrorist organization. Now, this is not a false allegation. I have the screenshot proof saved in external hard drives, and I can also direct you to the link which will be in the video description of this video as well. Ayman Fatal is on record, and I quote, "Here's an excellent article by Khalid Amiala on why Hamas is a legitimate political actor." You know, I smell smoke, people, and usually where you smell smoke and you see smoke, there could be a fire. Not necessarily, but could be. Now, what's real interesting is that the contractors of this mosque, which was CARE Incorporated, not to be confused with CAIR, but KIR, a Pakistani-based construction outfit, are the ones that designed and were behind the building of this mosque. Now, some other dots I want to point out. In the last couple years in the Augusta, Georgia area, due to the great work of the FBI, on the very same day that a man was arrested for terrorism at the Atlanta Hartsfield Airport, just 9 miles down the road that way, a terrorist who at the time was one of the two most wanted terrorists was arrested at the Greyhound bus station in Augusta, Georgia by the Georgia branch of the FBI. Now, fast forward a couple more years. More recently, a member in our community was trying to join ISIS. More smoke I see, people. And I have the aerial photograph of this very mosque while the foundation was being laid, with what appears to be possibly, and I'm not saying for legal reasons, possibly a very large entrance to a basement type construction area, which I've seen in other photographs of mosques that did have actual basements, you know, bunkers for jihad. Now, we got to remember what ISIS and Al-Qaeda have promised. They have promised when they bring their jihad in America that the barracks for jihad, the launching points, will be mosques, the Islamic centers. In fact, Prime Minister Erdogan of Turkey himself has said that the domes of the mosques are their helmets, the minarets their bayonets, and their faithful their followers. He has reiterated a guy that is imposing Sharia law, draconian anti-freedom agendas, and the Islamic community of Augusta, Georgia even requested the FBI and the Sheriff's Department to come talk to him about the shirt that I'm about to show you, and with the allegation that I've advocated violence against Muslims. Again, I will defend, not attack. I will react, not act. And all the other members of the militias that I'm connected to, and 3%ers, feel the same way. I'll go on record and be politically incorrect. Anyone that would attempt to stop my exercise of free speech through violent, aggressive means, remember the term is violent, aggressive means, I will not hesitate to put a round right between your eyes. That's not a threat. What it is, it's a promise to defend myself against violent attack. I will never shoot anyone unless I am being fit, unless there's a serious threat to my life or bodily harm, that of a third party, or to stop a forcible felony, which Georgia Code is 16-3-21 of the OGA code, which I learned in Academy. Now, people say that the Muslims are all about free speech. They live amongst us. They're your neighbors. They're your co-workers. But yet they do not support free speech. This shirt right here, I'm going to show you the back first, so we'll gradually ease into it. States, in English, I will not be silent, and in Arabic, I will not submit, and in English, I will not submit. Now, the real problem they had was the front of this shirt. Now, many people will find that provocative, offensive. Remember, free speech is speech that you may not necessarily agree with. Now, I am going to read the county ordinance for disorderly conduct, section 58-7, section B, before I wrap this up. Unlawful wear. No person shall knowingly affix or attach to any piece of outerwear clothing or wear any piece of clothing, outerwear clothing, which has affixed or attached to it any sticker, decal, emblem, painting, needlework, or other device containing profane or lewd words, that's words, not images, words, or epithets describing sexual acts, excretory functions, or parts of the human body. This shirt fits none of the above. Okay, none of the above. Free speech, if we allow it to die, will be led like sheep to the slaughter. It is the pressure relief valve that keeps our society from unraveling. It's what enables people to dissent peacefully by expressing themselves so they don't have to get violently. I will always speak out against Islam. That doesn't mean, as some Christians say, you hate Muslims. No, I hate the ideology. Islam is not a person. It's an ideology of hate, slavery, and chattel, and their ultimate goal is to establish a global caliphate right here in the United States. And I believe this mosque, I will not be surprised, has direct ties to terrorist financing or possibly equipment to carry out terrorist attacks, which we may possibly see sometime in the future. Iman Fatal, I know you're going to be watching this. Care of Georgia, I know you're watching this because you put a press release out against me. You've only proven my point by doing these things. Because here's the thing, Iman. I've never said you're financing terrorists. I said it's possible, and it could be suicide vests in this mosque. Didn't say it as a fact. I'm raising the question. Again, this is the entrance to the barracks, what I call barracks of jihad, of a genocidal, pedophile, warlord, and false prophet. And yes, I will say deaf to Islam. Deaf to the ideology of Islam. Just like I deaf to Nazism as well. Okay? No Islam or Nazis in America, people. Stand up for our Constitution. Defend free speech. That's why I'm out here today. I will not be intimidated by the harassment and threats. God bless America. And we're about to make America great again. And we're going to take it back, people.